Hey there, you're listening to Please Remain Heated, the theme park debate podcast, where every episode we pit two iconic theme park offerings against each other and head-to-head to see which one comes out on top. We are your hosts and brothers, Carter and Davis Morgan. How are you doing, Davis?
I'm doing good.
This is gonna be a good one. Look, we try to remain impartial when we talk about these, but I'm just gonna say it up top. I freaking love Mr. Toads.
So I'm also a Mr. Toads fan. I was I don't know what it is about this ride. Something about it it speaks to me personally. I don't know what it is.
This is such a good barometer for, like, are you a Disney fan or like a theme parks fan, or maybe more specifically like a Disneyland fan? Because I said that, I used to say that, like, for a while there was kind of a difference between being like a Disney fan and like a Disneyland fan, and lately that's less true because the parks are so full of intellectual property. But nothing exemplifies that more than Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I know. This may be like one of, if not like the only ride in Disneyland that I have not like watched the source material of. I've never watched the Mr. Toad Wind in the Willows. I hadn't watched Song of the South, but that's gone now. So now, but I've seen Princess and the Frog.
I play it for my kids every night.
I can't think of anything else in the parks that like is from a movie that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything either.
I've seen both Haunted Mansion movies.
Have you really?
You know what? Yeah, I've seen that. We saw the second one in theaters, like the most recent one, and it was decent. Wasn't terrible.
Have you seen that?
I've watched the Eddie Murphy one like
a
billion times growing up. I didn't watch that one actually, so maybe
Gotta watch that.
I was also gonna say I haven't seen the Jungle Cruise movie, but that wasn't based on the it's afterwards. I guess Haunted Mansion was too. I'm surprised they never did an Eddie Murphy retheme of Haunted Mansion.
You know they were just dying to, and then the movie tanked. Like, dang it. Maybe we should be glad the movie tanked. I just cannot. I actually don't think the inclusion of Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean is bad. I actually think it's a great inclusion. I cannot for the life of me imagine Eddie Murphy in the Haunted Mansion.
I've seen every single Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and the most recent one, the one with like the daughter that's a witch or something.
Sure.
Kind of spoiler, but that was, to me, I know it's not the longest movie I've ever watched. It felt like the longest movie. I saw it in the theaters, and I seriously felt like I was in there for like 5 hours. Like I was looking around like at like the 40% mark, being like, what is going on? Like, this feels like an eternity. I don't know what it was with that movie in particular, but oh my goodness.
You know what's funny about Mr. Toads is up at the top of the podcast, we like to share our memories of the ride. I don't have a lot of specific memories of this ride. I mean, I love it. It's one of the first things we do every single trip. I mean, I find that most trips start off in Fantasyland. We usually try to get to Fantasyland first and like hit up all the small rides. So Mr. Toad's always one of the very first rides we do. I don't know. Do you have any specific memories of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
No, not really from growing up. I do remember taking my friends on this when I went for choir, and them being shocked at the ending in particular. So I remember like that being a fun experience. Essentially, you're always a Fantasyland first kind of guy. I feel like I'm always going to Space Mountain first. Was always my first move, like every time. Go to Space Mountain first. But then I remember like going to Frontierland first strategy, kind of an odd choice, but it works out if you're there.
Sometimes Star Wars Land. That's a good strategy these days.
All the way.
Oh, I guess I do have one memory of Mr. Toad's, but it's not my memory. I had a friend, him and his now wife, they were engaged and, fond of each other during the engagement.
Oh, no.
And they were riding Mr. Toad's, and the ride got stopped with them in hell at the end, and they made out the entire time. And so,
oh my goodness.
I'll tell you after the podcast who it was, Davis.
Anyhow, I think I know who it was.
Yeah, you probably do. So that's all I got for Mr. Toad's. Alice in Wonderland. We've been talking a lot about Mr. Toad, but this is a Mr. Toad's versus Alice in Wonderland. And like we said, we try to be objective in this podcast. We're gonna evaluate these rides both fairly. And I really like Alice in Wonderland. I think aside from Mr. Toad, which I have kind of an ironic appreciation for, and also sincere appreciation for, it's both. Alice in Wonderland is probably my favorite of the Fantasyland park rides.
It's really great. I mean, it's cool that it's in like its weird own little area.
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
came later on. Like I like that, and I like how there's the teacups ride there as well.
yeah.
Wouldn't say I have a ton of like very specific memories beside like I think unless this is like a crazy thing that did not happen. I swear they ended up renovating the outside section of it to put like guardrails on it. I remember that
I think that
happening
wound
one
up
year. Did they
not
get rid of it though?
happening.
Or
I
they were
think so.
going to or something.
Yeah, I
I know
remember
that
there was like,
they at least did a major refresh of this
yeah, it
like
was like in
a few
2014.
years back. And I remember it being closed one year and being like kind of disappointed and then like liking all the stuff they did with the refresh on it.
Yeah, I have only been to Disneyland by myself once in my life.
Mhm.
And when I went, I just did the usual strategy. Again, I like to rope drop Fantasyland because there's no fast pass there. And so if you don't get some of those
Yeah,
rides
good point.
during the day, during the morning, you might have to wait a while in the afternoon. So I was just knocking out the Fantasyland rides, which was like a little weird, like as a grown man, like just by
Yeah.
myself, right? But like for the most part, it's like, you get in the vehicle, you go by yourself, like it's fine, you get out. But Alice in Wonderland has that part where in the middle of the ride you emerge from it and go down like that.
And
Exposed part.
The crowds are looking up at you, just single man hand on the thing.
I was like,
Okay,
oh
cool.
gosh, like I'm too old for this. So I would recommend if you go to Disneyland by yourself as a grown man that you do not do Alice in Wonderland.
What about when you did Mr. Toad's? Because there's like it has like the wheel. Like
yeah.
when if you hop into Mr. Toad's with your friend, when I go with my wife, I can ironically sit at the wheel and be like, I'm driving. If you're going by yourself, you just like hop in, you're like, man, beep beep, man. You like try to look at the cast member. Like, are you using that wheel? Like it's there's a performative aspect to it that's always fun to do if you're with somebody, but if you're not, it's kind of a weird dilemma there.
I know, but that's one thing I love. We're going to talk about it. I love that wheel. You can compare and contrast both these rides, share some fun facts about both of them. So unique about both these rides is these are both present in Disneyland and only Disneyland. They were built around the same time. We'll get into that a little bit more. They're both classic pretzel dark rides, which I really enjoy. And they both share a show building. Alice in Wonderland is built on top of Mr. Toad's, and that's why people theorize that Mr. Toad's will basically never go away. Because it's there. You couldn't replace it as is. It's so small unless they like replace it with like a meet and greet area, which like who knows? They do that at Magic Kingdom, but I doubt they would. And so you'd have to kind of just demolish all of Alice in Wonderland and Mr. Toad, and I imagine you'd have to close the teacups while doing that. So yeah, it's
They should keep Alice in Wonderland, but add a Tower of Terror style drop right in the middle into the lower floor.
As far as Mr. Toad's go, it's one of the few remaining opening attractions since July of 1955. It's one of those old school rides where you are the main character. And I think this kind of speaks to the unpopularity of Mr. Toad as a main character because all the other rides, they caved and eventually put the characters in. No one was clamoring for Mr. Toad.
Exactly. Again, I've never seen the source material. He is in, I feel like The Wind in the Willows is like a multi-pack of like other fables or something. I can't remember what
I think
I
think the movie is just called Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And it's based off The Wind of the Willows.
It's not. Is it the same Ichabod? Is it the same as Ichabod Crane?
Yeah.
Headless Horseman.
Yeah,
they should replace it with a Headless Horseman ride because that would be kind of sick. Actually,
that would be cool. I found out. Speaking of the source material, you winding up in hell, as happens at the end of this ride, does not happen in the movie, which is a shame.
Yeah. They just decided to add that in for fun, I guess.
Just for the heck of it. The ride was supposed to be a roller coaster, but Walt Disney didn't think that would be appropriate for young children or the elderly. Again, I guess he thought winding up in hell was...
My guess is that Walt Disney's logic was like he's seen Mr. Toad be a rambunctious man. He's like, I can't have the kids thinking that this kind of behavior will pay off for them in the end.
Maybe.
So he wanted you to go to hell.
I guess so. The Magic Kingdom version, because this ride was present in Magic Kingdom, it actually had 2 tracks, which I thought was interesting. And the Magic Kingdom's version was replaced by Winnie the Pooh. And if you don't know, in that ride, you can see a painting of Mr. Toad handing a deed of the property over to Owl, which is a fun little Easter egg. And a much less creepy Easter egg than Winnie the Pooh in Disneyland, which replaced Country Bear Jamboree. And so like at a certain point during the ride, if you turn backwards, you can just see like 3 mounted animal heads.
Yeah,
like
that's weird.
I try to find it every time, and it scares the crap out of me. Alice in Wonderland, this debuted in June 14th, 1958. It was supposed to be an opening day attraction, but got shelved due to budget cuts. It was designed by the legendary Imagineer Claude Coates. Also, a lot of work on Haunted Mansion, that Claude Coates. This I thought was weird. Originally envisioned as a walkthrough attraction, which doesn't surprise me. But how come freaking everything was envisioned as a walkthrough attraction? And nothing ever became it.
Because nothing is, yeah.
No.
I wonder if it was really just like, they're like, oh, we'll do the walkthroughs later. And then they just realized that the ride vehicle system worked so well and was like a way to easily manage groups inside of it. Like maybe that's why.
But they kept coming back to it.
Yeah, it is weird that they're like, Pirates of the Caribbean, the walkthrough museum. There's like Haunted Mansion, walkthrough. I'm like, okay.
Was there some guy at Imagineering whose whole bonus was predicated on how many walkthrough attractions were built? He was incredibly persuasive.
Not sure, but incredibly persuasive, but couldn't execute. He got to the very end. He always got sniped by somebody else.
And this is also another ride that you're supposed to be Alice. There was no Alice in it, but they caved on that with the 1984 remodel. So I guess if there was
Johnny Depp in this one too, they could have put him in this one, but they decided not to.
They should have Johnny
the Mad
Depp.
Hatter.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Do we have a Johnny Depp impersonation? My compass. That's what he's. That's what he said.
Compass.
And that awful. They redid Phantasmic for a bit and replaced the cool Peter Pan scene with like a Pirates of the Caribbean scene.
Did they put it back to Peter Pan?
I believe they did put it back to Peter Pan.
Because I was there like when the new Phantasmic first came out, and it's awesome. I really love it, except for that stupid My Compass scene. That's all it says. And then it has this terrible ending where it's like it's him being like, and that's the day you finally met Captain. And then it's like the girl who's in the scene goes, Jack Sparrow. It's terrible. It's like a screaming Jolly Roger skull. It's like literally one of the worst. I don't know who designs that stuff, but goodness, it's a terrible idea.
That's like when they redid Phantasmic at Disney World, and they replaced the Pocahontas scene, which I was okay with. I thought the Pocahontas scene was fairly weak. But it's like they had a competition for like what to replace it with, and there was a 6-way tie. And instead it's just like 6 little vignettes. I'm like, what is going on? Anyhow, weird. They keep redoing Phantasmic and they keep making it worse. I don't know how that happens.
They keep improving the technology, which makes it really cool, and they just like ruin other parts of it. They don't use the technology to a good thing.
Disneyland Phantasmic versus Disney World Phantasmic one day. But
seating in Disney World's pretty cool, but that sad, pathetic riverboat at the end of Disney World's Phantasmic is not doing it any favors.
Do you remember the first time we saw Phantasmic in Disney World? And we were doing like the amphitheater seating, and because we weren't used to that, we were like, "Whoa, look at this front row seats! No one's sitting here. Oh, that's awesome!" And then we just got sprayed by water the whole show. Anyhow, so that's it for comparing and contrasting these two rides. We got some fan predictions this week, fewer than usual because we usually upload the episodes on Monday, and Davis and I record these on Wednesday. But I didn't have time to get to it. I got to it on Tuesday, and then my internet went out, and so I was literally uploading the episode on my phone connection. But we did get a couple predictions from our fans, so we want to make sure we say that. Lil Wolf says, I've only been on both these rides once, but I'm going to say Mr. Toad 7, Alice 4. Harv Robbo says, going with my gut, I'd say Mr. Toad 6-5. He also said, can't wait to see what celebrity impression we hear this week, which I guess you just got it. It was a bad Jack Sparrow.
And I did the impression of the girl, the famous girl. So
I don't know.
There you go.
We'll be comparing her performance in episode 9321. And Bruiser Brad says Mr. Toads is going to gorilla slap Alice 9-2. Hey, you never know. We had our last episode was rather lopsided, so it could be similar here. I don't know. I mean, again, putting my cards on the table. I really love Mr. Toad, but there's a reason we didn't match it up against a weaker dark ride. We chose what I think is one of the best Fantasyland dark rides, Alice in Wonderland. So it sounds like the audience rooting for Mr. or thinks Mr. Toad will get it, but who knows?
It's attached to it like a parasite.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, I, in my mind, I haven't really like run through the criteria. I think I know which way this is going to go, but I also think we're gonna have more split decisions on this one.
Right. Well, we're gonna find out. So if you're new to the podcast, here's the game. Every episode, 2 attractions enter a proverbial arena and face off across 11 rounds. We're going to break them down piece by piece from the practical to the magical. Davis and I will submit our votes at the end of the round, with the winner being awarded 1 point. In the case of a tie, we will attempt to convince one another, but in a true deadlock, each attraction will be given half a point. The attraction with the highest score will be declared the better ride. All right, Davis, are you ready?
Oh.
All right. Let's get heated and start here with round 1. Every great attraction makes a promise the moment it comes into view. That first glimpse shapes everything that follows. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best external facade/show building. So what's interesting here is that it's like you said up top, Davis. These are both Fantasyland attractions, but like Alice in Wonderland almost has its own little mini area
because it's around the corner from like Mr. Toad faces inwards towards the carousel or like kind of in that area versus Alice, which is like kind of facing more towards Matterhorn and It's a Small World. Like I always lump like Teacups, It's a Small World, and Alice in like their own separate area of Fantasyland, you know, like it's a more quaint little area. That's how I always think. And Matterhorn, I guess.
Yeah, Matterhorn, off topic, but man, Matterhorn adds a lot to Fantasyland. Like the whole little Swiss village feel, and then you have Matterhorn towering over it. That's great. Yeah, because I think if you were to compare like two, like, I don't know, Pinocchio versus Snow White, they all kind of blend together. But you have something very different going on with Alice. I mean, look, off the top of my head, I can't quite say I could tell you exactly what Alice looks like. But that whole kind of area with the teacups and the caterpillar coming out to display grown men to all of Fantasyland.
I know the single man riding like, Matt, should I check my Twitter now or what should I do?
I should have just owned it. I should have just stood up and waved.
Yes. you stand up and wave that to evacuate the ride, like kick you out of the park. Frick. Alice in Wonderland, I'm looking up the facade right now. So it's got a couple things going for it.
Okay.
One, it does have the fact that you can see the ride, the vehicles.
I do love anytime
which
you
is
can
really
see.
cool.
I love that.
And then it has this mushroom with a cool little Alice in Wonderland storybook on top of it, and then the rest of the facade kind of just looks like a castle. And I have to say, I quite enjoy those aspects of it. Now let me look up Mr. Toad's.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it is like a castle.
Yeah.
Mr. Toad's,
It's very quaint.
Yeah, it's
very quaint.
It's cute. I mean, I do love Toad Hall, and like,
it
has like the statue of Mr. Toad kind of sitting above it. It has one of the ride vehicles out front. I mean, I'd say that this is
facade.
Oh, I'm torn. I'm legitimately torn
here too.
Well, I'll put photos of these up so that our listeners and watchers can know what we're looking at. I don't know. I mean, okay, Alice in Wonderland is easily more impressive. Can we agree on that? Yes. But Mr. Toad, I don't know. I find the craftsmanship of it cute. I mean, that little, I don't know. Huh. Is there any? Yeah.
It's like, it's tough, again, because Alice in Wonderland does have like the kinetic energy of the ride vehicles, which again I think adds a lot to any ride. Like I think if you're a kid and you see that, a kid and you see that, you're like, oh, I want to go on that. Like I think I love that aspect of it.
Here's what I'm struggling with though, is I'm on Google Images right now trying to find like, okay, just give me an image of the show building.
Exact same situation. You can't find one.
And whereas if you search Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, it's like the second image. Okay. I've got my vote. Do you have yours?
I think I've got mine as well. I'm going to submit.
All right. And let me reveal. That is unanimous from Mr. Toad's.
Mr. Toad's.
And I'll say
that actually shocked me.
That shocked me too.
I was expecting to give that to Alice too, but when I looked at that picture of Mr. Toad's, dude, It is well done. It is a good looking facade.
Yeah, nice brickwork. I'm sure it's not real brick, right?
Yeah,
But
but it gives like a cool like, versus like Pinocchio, which has like a very German style. So like this has like a more regal feeling to it,
yeah,
which I
yeah,
think is
very
neat. And
English.
like the weather vane, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that aspect of it.
Oh yeah, the weather vane is like Mr. Toad on his little cart. Yeah,
His
that's
famous
actually really
weather vane
solid.
from the movie, Mr. Toad, that we've all seen. Yeah.
Okay, at the end of round one, that gives us a score of Mr. Toad 1, Alice in Wonderland 0. And I'm going to say Alice in Wonderland might want to get nervous here because I thought they were going to wrap that up. So let's.
It's already not looking good.
Yep, let's keep going. That takes us to round 2. For many attractions, the real journey begins long before you board. The queue sets the mood, builds anticipation, and tells its own story. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best themed line or queue. Oh gosh.
This is another area where Alice struggles in. There's really nothing going on there.
There's nothing going on there, but it does benefit from having the whole kind of like Alice in Wonderland little land. Like you can see the teacups. You can see the grown men on the caterpillars.
On top. You're right below them. You could look up at them like this.
Yeah. You see. So I think, well, I was going to say like, well, you can look at the Storybook Canal boats across the way. And I was going to say, you can't do that on Mr. Toad, but like, I don't know, you can see the carousel on Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in for a bad day if you're in those Mr. Toad switchbacks. If you're not right inside Toad Hall.
Yeah. But Toad Hall has got some portraits.
Toad Hall, you know what Toad Hall has? One of the coolest things in all of Disneyland. When the cart comes through the fireplace and it makes like little sparks on the ground.
Okay, that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll
awesome.
admit that. I'll admit that.
My kids love
sick.
that. So you get to, and it's like we talk about. I like any ride where you get a little sneak peek of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Before you do. You know what's a great ride for
You get
that?
them
Tron. Tron is cool because like as you're
yeah.
walking in, you're like walking underneath the structure, which is like
cool.
you're seeing everyone ride the light cycles. So, and then you get 30 whole seconds on that roller coaster. It's great.
Is there any aspect of the Tron ride that's like you entering into the world of the game, or is it just like?
Oh no, there's a cool little effect, and it's sick.
Oh, I know. That's a Disney World exclusive, unless I want to get out to Shanghai. Correct?
Yeah.
We're going to Disneyland in like a couple weeks now, but we also might be going to Disney World.
That'd be sick. Gonna go to Universal while you're out there, or just Disney
we
World?
Probably will to go to Epic Universe because we haven't done there yet. Me and Carter's younger brother and his wife Parker are going. Parker and his wife Shelby. His wife Parker. They're going in April, actually over like the week of my birthday, and one of my best friends lives there, so we're considering going there with them. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm just saying, I'm looking at the old Mr. Toad's facade. Lame.
I know.
Maybe that was Disney World. It was like the whole Renaissance fair aesthetic. That might actually be from Disney World. But anyway, back to the lines of these two.
Yeah, I mean, I like anything where you get a little sneak peek of the ride you're about to see. But both offer that. But Mr. Toad's kind of like immerses you into the world more. It's cool. You get to enter Toad Hall.
And I feel like there's a little bit of like off to the side, even when you're in the switchbacks, you're almost like in his garden a little bit, right?
Yeah,
just a little bit
I think there's like a little statue there. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a Mr. Toad statue in there, which I always like to get a picture with.
Interesting.
Alice in Wonderland is a switchback in the hot sun.
Yeah, it's not even that shaded either. That's brutal.
Is there anything we can give Alice in Wonderland?
You can see the cars.
You can see the caterpillars.
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty cool.
I think we're going to have to vote here. All
okay,
right,
let me submit my response in.
All right, let's reveal this. 3, 2, 1, and that's unanimous for Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad.
To no one's surprise. All right, at the end of round 2, that is Mr. Toad 2, Alice in Wonderland 0. So Mr. Toad keeps up its hot streak, and we are going to hope that Alice in Wonderland can muster something up here. Okay, let's go to round 3. The heart of any attraction lies in how it moves you, literally. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best ride vehicle or ride system. I
Both
like these
pretty
caterpillars.
simple. I do like these caterpillars too. Plus, 2 rows. You can get 2 groups of people on there.
Yeah, but I think sometimes Mr. Toad is fun just having 2 people.
Yeah, I do
on
like
it.
that aspect of it. But I do like the caterpillars. I think they look good. I like how they are different colored.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you got to respect any ride, because we're not just evaluating the vehicle here, but also the whole ride system. I think you got to respect any ride that moves you outside. You enter one show building, come out through another show building, and then go into another one for a little finale. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll give it some credit for having the multicolored caterpillars. I remember always liking that as a kid. Guessing, or like any sort of ride where like Autopia, for example, like what color car am I gonna get?
For sure. I always like that. Mr. Toad does have multicolored cars, I think.
But they're like muted colors. I think it's more that like, oh, this is Mr. Badger's car. You're like, what the freak is Mr. Badger?
Sweet Mr. Badger. My favorite character. But you do have that steering wheel. Badger and Skinny Pete. I know that. They should retheme this to Badger and Skinny Pete.
Badger and Skinny Pete's awesome. Wild Ride. Anyhow.
But you do have the steering wheel for
You
Mr.
do
Toad's
have the
Wild
steering
Ride.
wheel.
The useless steering wheel.
I love any ride with a non-functional steering wheel. I love any ride with a non-functional steering wheel more than any ride with a functional steering wheel. Give me non-functional Mr. Toad over Autopia any day. Although it's debatable how much the steering wheel for Autopia is functional.
I can never properly use it because I'm always jerked around on that thing. But I get whiplash, and I have the headache from the diesel fuel, and I'm just not a good experience for me. I rarely go on that one.
So, okay, I love this ride vehicle, and I think the Caterpillars are great ride vehicles too. And I think there's a lot of ride vehicles that would be, but I love this ride vehicle. But you got to consider with Alice in Wonderland the fact that you get to go outside and be on that elevated platform, which I think is neat.
In Alice in Wonderland, this is more like the contour of the track, but you definitely move around a lot more. Like,
yeah, you do. That
Mr.
counts.
Toad's Wild Ride is like, it's pretty flat, and then you go over some bumps at one point, I think, and it like
yeah, you move like there's like some elevation gain in Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, yeah,
but you don't get Mr. Toad, except those bumps. One of the greatest effects in all of Disneyland.
It's just a cast member running behind you, shaking your car.
That's what it was on opening day when Walt had absolutely no money. All right, I'm gonna vote. I know what I'm voting for.
I'm gonna vote too.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, unanimous. Alice in Wonderland. I'm glad to hear that.
Split decision. Yeah.
No,
I just think the way, the caterpillars are cool. I like the way that we probably said the caterpillars are cool like a dozen times in this video already, but they are. But no, I like the way they're like sculpted and have kind of character to them. It's also it's because I don't know if does that character show up in the ride itself, the caterpillar.
The hookah smoking caterpillar. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he is there. So I guess he's there twice. But
yeah, he's saying he's mad at you. He says, "Free my brethren. You have enslaved them."
You dare use my brethren against me? No, but the other thing I was gonna say is, like, compared to most of the Fantasyland rides, I guess the pirate ships are pretty dang cool. But I'm like, Snow White, at least the older version, doesn't have it's just kind of a basic ride vehicle. They're all kind of like muted and boring, and this one's more exciting looking.
And there is something with the old rides where it's like you kind of enter the building, and then the whole thing is in the building, and then you exit 3 feet from where you entered, right? And you exit 3 feet from where you entered on Alice in Wonderland too, but I think it's fitting for the Alice in Wonderland story, which is all about this crazy world you get in, and everything is so out of the ordinary. I think it'd be kind of sad if it were just a very normal dark ride. I think it's cool that you gain some, again, you start on the ground and at some point end a story up, and then take the little exposed elevated portion down to ground level again. So very, very cool ride. Definitely one of the most impressive ones in Fantasyland, and it's well deserved. At the end of round 3, that's a score of Mr. Toad's 2, Alice in Wonderland 1. So we're not looking at a shutout here, folks. No. Alice in Wonderland is it's got something to say for itself. So let's move on to round 4. Stories are the backbone of unforgettable attractions. From setup to payoff, the strongest rides pull you into a world that feels alive. The winner of this round will be the ride that tells the best story. Okay.
Mr. Toad is the biggest fever dream of a ride. I was just rewatching. I was kind of like, why don't I really remember this the whole time? I'm like, it's because it's insane. Like it is like it's people yelling at you and a policeman jumping out at you, and then you get sentenced by the judge, right? And then you get hit by the train, and then you're in hell.
You die, you go to hell.
The ride's over.
That is the best part of this ride. Yeah. There's no escape from hell.
Yeah.
The ride just ends.
There's no redemption. Yeah,
there's not like Mr. Toad does a good deed and then he gets to come back to life.
There's not like a big matte painting of Mr. Toad reaching down to you at the very end. He has angel wings. He's like, through myself, he will be redeemed. He pulls
not a Christian allegory or anything. You go to hell. The ride is over.
Yeah.
Which is
funny
like
that the judge sentences you.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah, but then you get hit by a train. So like, did they not? They didn't like put you into custody or anything.
I guess that's true, right? Why am I driving myself to jail?
Now you're driving yourself through the court, I guess, too. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like that. Zoom court, like someone who had show up for Zoom court for like a DUI, and he's like driving.
Yeah,
like, oh that's what Mr. Toad did. Like he was supposed to show up to his hearing.
He shows up in his old car.
Yeah.
Oh, Jiminy Willikers! I forgot to show up with my little car. I don't know what Mr. Toad sounds like because I never watched the movie and he's also not in the ride. So
I have no idea what he sounds like.
Does he give you the spiel? Is he like, oh, friends?
Oh,
you're about to inhabit my body and jump into my car.
It's they should retheme just adjust this to like a Flight of Passage type thing.
Yeah,
where it's like you were going.
You're about to sync up with the Mr. Toad's wild ride. Oh, we're gonna spray you for parasites. That's my impression of the guy in Flight of Passage. You're about to hook up onto a Mr. Toad. We call that a rite of passage.
Mr. Toad's rite of passage. I remember being in that room where they're like, move around a little. And like you're supposed to move around a little. And they're like spraying you for parasites. And our brother McKay turned to me, he's like, they could put a lot more people on this ride if they didn't have you do this room. I was like, you idiot, we're still in line. Like they're tricking you.
They just keep making you move around. That was one. I hope the guy who played that character is not watching this video right now. I think you did a serviceable job for that, but Disney as a company makes an absurd amount of money, and you feel like they could have hired some sort of actor to do the pre-ride spiel for that, like somebody with a real name. They got Patrick Warburton for Soarin', and
I don't think he was that famous when he.
Some poor cast member to do that.
Hey, but when that guy is as famous as Patrick Warburton, you're gonna be eating your words.
Yeah.
So
once he's the live action Croc for his new group remake.
Okay, so as far as Mr. Toad goes, it's so stupid. It like wraps around from having no story to having a great story.
Yeah, but it's a little bit like maybe a little too late. Because
maybe we're still talking about it.
We are still talking about it. Alice in Wonderland is very much like the plot
it's a book report ride.
Yeah.
But I'll say in terms of book report rides, like it's pretty good, right? Like it starts like
and there is peril introduced because of the Queen.
The off with her head, right? Yeah. But then it's just kind of like but then you just like leave and then you go down the exposed part. I gotta quit saying exposed part.
Yeah, the exposed part. And you get exposed. That kicked you out for life. No, because she does the off with your head thing, and then, but then you go to the party at the end. You end up with the birthday party.
Yeah, it's cute, and like there's the explosion, but there's a little like I don't know. I guess I'm equally confused at the end of that ride.
Yeah,
but you don't go to hell.
Yeah, I know you don't do that. It's tricky.
Yeah,
one is an even keel of a story.
Yeah.
And she does narrate the beginning at least. She's like, oh, this is how I went to Wonderland. Let me tell you the wonderful trip. First, I fell down this. But then she kind of gives up her book report. She doesn't quite follow through the entire time.
I know. That's I'm left confused. Not really. I can follow the plot of the Alice in Wonderland Dark Ride pretty well. Okay, I know how I'm going to vote. Are you ready to vote?
I think I know how I'm going to vote. I think I know how I'm going to vote, but if you need to convince me, you'll probably convince me pretty easily.
All right, let's vote.
I voted.
Okay. All right, that's a tie. I'm Mr. Toads.
Okay.
You're Alice in Wonderland. Davis, you go to hell.
That is pretty sick. I do like that. But there's
not much going on in Alice in Wonderland.
That's a fair point too. It's very much just a tour through Wonderland.
We're not talking about who tells the most complete story, the most detailed story. We're talking about who tells the better story. And you getting in a car, wreaking havoc across the town, getting sentenced by a judge, dying, and going to hell, and then the ride ends. There is not a better story in all of Fantasyland.
I think you have convinced me with that. I think I would say I agree with you. I will change my vote to Mr. Toads.
Okay, there we go.
It is fun to be you do, like I said, I think Walt Disney was trying to encourage some moral at the end, and so I think I understand that.
So Alice in Wonderland almost got some points on the board there, but at the end of round 4, that's a score of Mr. Toads 3, Alice in Wonderland 1. But that does take us to round 5. Whether it's a sweeping score, environmental cues, or subtle auditory details, great attractions use sound to draw you deeper into their world. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best soundscape. This is interesting because we've been quoting both these rides throughout this. Yeah. We went off with our head, and I like the guilty. The very birthday to you.
Oh yeah, the music. This, in my opinion, I think Mr. Toads kind of struggles here because the music. Again, if I grew up watching The Wind in the Willows, I would probably feel more. I actually have the book of The Wind in the Willows.
Oh yeah,
I should read that. Oh, it's in storage right now, or we've packed it up already. But I need to read that. I'll do that soon. I should have read that before. But anyway. But since I don't know the music associated with it, I don't remember if there's any music in Mr. Toads, and it is a loud ride, man.
Yeah.
Like it is chaotic, and yeah.
The cop whistles at you.
He does. It's a shrill
something.
Whistle.
Yeah, like I don't think Alice in Wonderland has like a ton going on for it here, but it does feature several songs from the movie.
Yeah, they have the Painting the Roses Red song. It's kind of fun. You have the two. The cars you go past.
I think the Cheshire Cat makes like sounds when he like appears and disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, you know what Mr. Toad has? It has the little demons in hell giggling at you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like I love Mr. Toad. I will probably give it more points than it deserves over the course of this episode. But as far as like soundscape goes, I always feel weird when you're comparing it to like, again, a movie heavily or a ride heavily based on a movie because it's drawing so much from that movie. And so I'll try to like, and I guess here's the thing, like Mr. Toad is drawing from a movie too, right?
Yeah.
But like, if there's any sort of original aspects of sound, I try to heavily weight those. But, and you know what? I will give Alice in Wonderland here some minor credit for the teacups.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I think the teacups are kind of part of this ride. And I wish they did that more often. I love any rides that kind of come in pairs or like that all add to each other. I'm trying to think if there are any other good examples of things that do that.
It's one of the reasons I want to go to Disneyland Paris because they do that with the Haunted Mansion and Big Thunder. I think it's very loosely connected, but that is so cool. Oh no, because at the end of that ride, there was a freaking ghost town you go through.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
I want to see that so bad.
I gotta go there.
Yeah, so like that's probably the best example. As far as like Disneyland, is there anything like I can't really think of anything else that like really does that. But at any rate, I gotta lock in my vote for this one.
So do I.
All right.
I'm locked. I'm
ready.
Am
I think we know. Alice in Wonderland. Okay. We'll give it to old Alice. At the end of round 5, that's a score of Mr. Toad's 3, Alice in Wonderland 2. So Closer,
pretty even halfway
closer
through.
than we
Yeah.
think. And you know what? There's some rounds coming down the stretch, which I think might throw some curveballs. And who was it? I gotta look up and make fun of him right now.
Somebody said it was like gonna be a 9-2.
That's Bruiser Brad. Bruiser Brad. Ooh, you're sweating
Bruiser
right
Brad,
now.
I'm sorry. I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bruiser Brad can't afford to get any
He
4
can't.
points to Alice.
The Toad
One
Chodes
of these
are
coming down the
quivering in their seats versus the Wonder Kids.
Wonder Kids, the Wonder Wings.
So roughly family-friendly podcast. All right, moving on. We have round 6, which is theme parks thrive on innovation, and some attractions stand out for the tools, systems, and effects that power their magic. The winner of this round will be the ride with the best technology. Mr. Toad.
Bruiser Brad, I'm so sorry, man.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Toad's the bumps and the heating at the very end.
Yeah,
they subvert your expectations where instead of air conditioning a ride in the hot California sun, they actually heat it up.
I know. I'm giving Alice in Wonderland craps for having switchbacks at the sun. Mr. Toad heats you up.
But you know, I was always back when I lived in Idaho, and I guess you live in Utah, so you experience this. In Idaho especially, it gets so cold.
Yeah.
And I always hated whenever I walked out of Walmart, they blow hot air on you.
Oh,
and I hated it because I was like, why are you blowing? I mean, it's gonna feel so much worse because I've gotten hot air. I was like, you should blow pretty cold air as soon as you walk in, because when you're walking in, it'll kind of feel nice because you're so cold from the outside, and when you're walking out, you'll be able to slowly acclimate to it.
You might be the only person in the world with this opinion. I wish they blasted me with AC.
You have no idea how cold it is in Idaho, dude. It's so.
I guess that's
it
fair.
was unbelievable.
Okay, so are you saying that it's good that they blast you with heat?
I was, maybe we're going in February. It might be kind of cold.
No,
we're going to be there for the nighttime jamboree, and I know Mr. Toad will probably have a crazy line, even though for the nighttime thing, everybody will be trying to get on that the entire time. But we'll have to go on that to heat up a little bit.
Wait, what's the nighttime jamboree? What event
we're doing
is
the
it?
Valentine's Sweetheart Night. Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Toads is a great ride for that.
I'm hoping, because people said, I was like looking up online about like the Sweethearts Nights. I never done an after hours event at Disneyland or Disney World, and people are like, oh, the best part is there's all these different characters that go out that you can do meet and greets with. I'm like, you suckers, you better be taking your pictures and waiting in line for those characters. I'll be on the Tiki Room 40 times in a row.
Yeah. You know what was a great use of characters? Because I'm with you. I'm not a huge I get in pictures. Okay, so 2 stories. I have to tell time for 2 stories. So when I worked at Disney, everyone in the company has to attend this kind of meeting called Traditions. You remember this story?
I love this story. Yeah.
So you have to attend this meeting called Traditions, and it's like it walks you through like the history of the company, what it means to be a Disney employee. It's cute, it's fun, and like you get to go to Disney World during it. It's like I love it. At the end of the meeting, like it's your orientation, right? Mickey Mouse comes into the room, which is pretty cool because it's like Mickey Mouse in a conference room. I'm like, whoa, Mickey Mouse is like a corporate function. Like I've never had that at my job. And I'm in this room, and granted, my cohort, I wound up in a cohort of like accountants. And when Mickey walks in the room, people lost it. And like there was a lady in the crowd who was like, Mickey, remember me, Mickey? I'm like, what is going on? Like, so all that
you
to
laugh
say,
now. Guess what? She's the senior vice president of marketing now at
she
because of
might
her
be.
great performance. That is I like seeing the characters around. I think it's very fun, especially some of like the weirder ones. Like I remember seeing like Dr. Facilier. Which you probably see him a lot more now, but in New Orleans Square, and being like, oh, that's kind of cool. We have one experience of we were outside of, I can't remember if you were there for this. I was older. I was in high school, definitely. And I was like, in high school, I always wore like a lot of black. Like I think I was wearing like black jeans at the time, like a sweat. I always wear a sweatshirt with like a hood because I don't want to get sunburned.
Yeah.
But so we were there, and I think we just got on like Snow White, and I was like sitting on the ground.
Lounging on the ground,
Lounging on the ground, and the evil queen from Snow White showed up, and she interacted with me. She gave me she was there for like 3 minutes, just like roasting me because she was like, "Oh, can you not rise for your queen?" And I was like, I tried to be like I tried to essentially be like just the absolute like doormat. I was like,
Ugh.
listen, Queen, I really appreciate what you're doing for us in this kingdom, but it's been a really long day for me, so I'm just I'm just too tired. So she roasted me a little bit, and it was a good interaction. It was
Yeah,
fun.
that was great. And during the COVID years, they did, since they couldn't do like dedicated meet and greets, they had a lot more characters just kind of like out and about like that.
Mhm.
Like I remember like at Epcot, like they had kind of like in Norway, there's like grass areas kind of behind bars, or you know, like not bars, but you know, whatever, guardrails, and
Yeah.
they're just supposed to be like decorative, like, but they had like Anna and Elsa just like hanging out there,
Oh,
so they're
cool.
like, you know,
Mhm.
8 feet away from you. They would just like
Mhm.
chat with guests when they came by. It was so cool, and I'm sad they quit doing that. But a good use of characters. I ran the Disney World Marathon. You can actually see, you might be able to see behind me. Sometimes we crop the video too much, you can't. But I have
Ooh.
my Disney World Marathon hanging up over there, and it was 90s night themed. And so they had a
Mhm.
bunch of characters during the race that you could like get your picture taken with, and like they had weird ones like Darkwing
Mhm.
Duck and
Oh,
like the
awesome.
cat villain from Rescue Rangers. Anyhow,
They
it was great.
have power line?
They were playing Powerline,
Oh,
and you could get
cool.
a picture with Max and Goofy.
All two
Um,
power line songs?
yeah. They were playing at the home stretch. The home stretch is through
Mhm.
Epcot for the marathon. It was a lot of fun. Anyhow, we were talking about which ride has the best technology.
I don't know why. How on earth did we get there? I have
Something about
zero
characters.
recollection. But
Anyhow, Mr. Toad has nothing
yeah,
here.
like literally
How much do you count
nothing.
the non-functional steering wheel?
Yeah, yeah. It was, and you have the cast member that runs behind you and jostles your car as you go over the bumps, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, you have the heating, the non-functional steering wheel, and the bumps. That's all you get.
Mhm.
Like, there's not even an animatronic in this ride. It's all cardboard
Yeah,
cutouts.
it really is. There's a dragon at the end, which
Oh
is
yeah, but it's a
3D.
sculpture. He like
Yeah,
breathes at
it's like
you.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah,
and Alice in Wonderland has a good showing here. When they redid it and they added some
yes,
like projection mapping, and it's really cool now. I really enjoy. I love
yeah,
projection mapping. I'll always say, but it's done really well.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
projection mapping can plus up a ride pretty easily, which
yeah.
I think is really
Mhm.
fun. Yeah, like Alice in Wonderland. It's got a lot of good animatronics. I don't think there's really animatronic. Yeah, and I want to say there's a difference between like an animatronic and like
And like a
a
figure.
figure. So this has a lot
Yeah,
of
like
figures.
yeah, for sure. Like the queen is a figure, I'm pretty sure. So are the
Alice is a
cards.
figure.
Yeah,
The hookah guy blows smoke.
there you go.
That's some projection mapping. Okay, we've talked enough about things that aren't this round, and I know how I'm voting. So let's go ahead.
So do I.
All right, this is going to be unanimous for Alice in Wonderland. See, folks, this is how you know that this podcast is objective, because we were upfront and said that we love Mr. Toad, but at the end of round
Hmm.
6, halftime, tied up Mr. Toad's 3, Alice in Wonderland 3. So,
Bruiser Brad, I have to say I kind of feel sorry for you because you're probably waiting in anticipation for us to get to the voting, and we spent 20 minutes moving from the heating to lovers' night to meeting characters to Darkwing Duck. So pretty impressive. You made it
oh
through
yeah,
all
that's
that.
how we got there, because
Yeah.
you worried about it being cold. Anyhow, okay, that went off the rails. Okay, moving on. We gotta finish this up. Halftime, perfectly tied. Not often we have that. So let's talk round 7. Great rides build anticipation, set up reveals, and deliver big payoffs. The ones bursting with standout scenes consistently leave guests talking long after the ride ends. The winner of this round will be the ride that has the most or best wow moments. So Mr. Toad, I feel like, has 2 great ones here. When the train hits you, which
Yeah.
like comes out of left field, and then hell.
Hell yeah. They're
Yeah.
right one after each other, but yeah, I'd say those are both pretty cool. Alice in Wonderland, I think, kind of has some heaters here. I think.
Wait, okay, I was gonna say that there's not a ton going on here, so I'm curious to hear what you've got.
So I think number one has to be when you go on the outside portion. I think that's a
that's
really
fine.
cool moment, and you're right outside of the Matterhorn. It's like it. I was watching a ride through of it, and I was almost taken aback. I was like, "That's really cool." I
Yeah.
also think that there's a section where you're going through like a tunnel, and you have like the projection mapping on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
I guess I'd like that. To me is cool because I love projection mapping. I think it's
Mhm.
cool to get like kinetic energy in there.
Oh, the Cheshire Cat showing up
Yeah,
is
that's
fun.
pretty dang cool
He shows
too.
up a couple times.
And
What
there's a
about
lot of
they?
fun scenes in
Yeah,
this. Like I think that
yeah,
that's where Mr. Toad struggles for me is that there's those
yeah.
two really good ones at the end, but there's nothing else that's memorable besides the police blowing his whistle at you and the
Right. I think like
jostling.
some barrels almost topple on you,
Yeah.
but
It's and then I think it also suffers from again not having any animatronics and it all being
yeah, yeah.
cutouts is tough for me where it's like just seeing something like if you were a kid and you were a huge fan of the original Alice in Wonderland movie, which you probably wouldn't be now, but if you were back in the day, you would you'd like this. I think seeing all that stuff represented in like big and 3D is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. There is something to be said here for Mr. Toad does not have a ton of affinity for it going into the ride, and so it's harder to be like for there to be magic in seeing it brought to life, right? Like I think
Yeah.
Peter Pan is a great we most people love Peter Pan, and so starting out seeing all the kids in the darling nursery, like oh that's
Yeah.
fun, whereas Mr. Toad it's like
Yeah.
whoa that's the constable, right? And it's
Yeah,
like
that's
I
him.
don't know.
That's the judge.
Yeah.
I think that's Satan himself. No, the other thing that I think, again, I love Mr. Toad's. I love it for a lot of reasons. This feels like a ride that I could conceivably see being at like Lagoon. Like I think
Oh
Lagoon could
gosh,
make this.
that's
Like
our local
'cause
park in Utah
yeah,
for
it's
those who
all
aren't
and okay, Lagoon's not like county fair. There are aspects of Lagoon that I really
right.
like, but like I've been on Lagoon's like scary, like they have like a horror ride, which is just like a bunch of Party City masks looking at you, and it's like um I think Mr. Toad to me kind of gives off it does feel a little
Yeah,
cheap, and I get why they leave it as is because it is like so classic, but there is
right,
some resentment of like why haven't they tried to do something to this? Like why haven't
right,
they made like use projection mapping to make the barrels look like they're full of dynamite? Like that
right,
aspect of it,
right.
they've obviously repainted, and there's a lot of like black light in there to make it kind of pop more, but it does feel a little cheap.
Yeah, like I mean, Alice in Wonderland consistently delights you throughout the ride, and I don't think there's anything as
100%.
big as "Holy cow, a train hit me and I'm in hell." Like
Yeah. hmm
that'll make you say wow. If anything makes you say wow, that'll make you say wow. Um,
But even the train, right? Is it a flat board that you go through, or is it a how
it's
does
just
the
like
train effect
it's like a
work?
light on rails up at the
Oh,
top,
that's
and
right.
so like,
Yeah,
um,
that's right. It's
I
kind
mean,
of a cool effect, actually.
we're not
Very
evaluating
cute.
technology. We've evaluated technology. Mr. Toad got
Yeah.
spanked as far as wow. I mean, but Alice in Wonderland, yeah, I think it's just a matter of like, do you want to be consistently delighted and impressed, or do you want to have one real big curveball thrown your
Yeah.
way at the end? Because I have to agree, for the rest of Mr. Toad, there's just not a ton that really makes me go like,
You're
oh,
kind of just waiting for that ending.
yeah, right, right. Oh gosh, I'm really torn here. I don't.
Nothing's fine, I'm torn. Sorry. You know that song? Torn?
I don't know that song actually.
You
It's
don't
called
know
Torn.
Torn by Natalie Imbruglia Bruglia or whatever her name is? Well,
I don't think
it's
that's
like
her name.
they in like really old Jake and Amir videos, they use that song for something.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna
All right.
submit.
I'm gonna submit here too. All right. 3, 2, 1. Submit and reveal. Okay, this is split. You say Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
I say Mr. Toads. I'm gonna need you to convince me on this one.
So Mr. Toad's okay, one, and maybe this is unfair. I feel like we already gave Mr. Toad its flowers for having the hell part of it when we talked about the story and we talked about
Never
how
give it
cool
enough
that
flowers
is.
for going to
Yeah.
hell.
But this is the one, and maybe this is an unfair criteria. I think if I was on this with my kid, and you've been on these with your
Right.
kids, my kid would have like way more to say at the end of Alice in Wonderland. I think there would be a lot of like it would feel very magical. I, as
Yeah.
a 26-year-old man, think it's hilarious that you end Mr. Toad's by going to hell. I don't think I even knew that was a thing until I was like 14 years old. When I
Right.
it never
Right.
registered to me as a kid.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
And
fair.
so I think that to me is like again, I think if you when you're getting off this, I think we kind of talked about this last week, where it's like when you get off the ride right away. If you're older, you're probably, of course, talking about the very ending of it. But I think if you're with a kid, they're definitely talking about like, oh, that was cool, and I liked when I saw the Cheshire Cat. Did you see him disappear? Like that to me kind of sells that for me.
Is there any other ride? Because we're talking about wow moments here, and that does not necessarily mean something that surprises or shocks you.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're talking about something that delights you in a surprising and shocking way. Well, I am delighted by going to hell. But is there any other ride that kind of like makes you, that takes like a left turn, and like Mr. Toad, it pans out in such a hilarious way. I'm trying to think if there's any other ride where you just kind of go like, what was that? I've never been on this one, but from what I've heard, the way the Universal Hollywood Mummy ride ends is really sudden and weird, and often leaves people confused. I'm trying to think about like Disney rides in particular, where there's a bit of that in like the new Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Where I'm like, like what's going on here? I don't know. There's a lot here that I think, you know what, like.
And again, I think just that outside portion, I think it's the only kind of dark ride where you're doing that, which I think is pretty novel. And again, it's in such a like, I think it's better that it's on that outside facing area rather than facing inwards, because I do think it's like a very kind of beautiful area of the park where it's like Matterhorn, the water of It's a Small World, and the teacups.
Yeah.
I like that.
It is nice. The only reason I was maybe discounting a bit is because you see it ahead of time. Like I think an example of a ride that does this well is the Tomorrowland People Mover, because there's so much you don't see, and so you're just like, whoa, we're in Space Mountain now, or like it has like this whole little model city of the future, and you're just kind of because you're not seeing any of that, you're like, oh wow, like look at this, or like the Disneyland Railroad, which lets you see a picture of Splash Mountain, or like not a picture, but like a little bit of Splash Mountain. They show you a picture. Like, as you
they show you PNGs of every ride, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I can't spend this whole podcast saying, yeah, but you go to hell. Ain't it neat that you go to hell? I'm probably going to spend enough of the rest of this podcast saying that. So I'll come around, and I'll say that I think, especially from a kid's perspective, there's going to be more in Alice in Wonderland that kind of like delights you and is fun and cute. So, I'll give it to Alice in Wonderland. And so this surprised me, folks, because at the end of round 7, Alice in Wonderland has taken the lead. Mr. Toad 3, Alice in Wonderland 4. So, I don't know. Every one of our listeners that volunteered a prediction said Mr. Toad. So, how much can Mr. Toad? So Mr. Toad has to win 3 of the next 4. Very interesting. Okay, let's come to round 8. That is: a great attraction knows exactly how to build momentum, when to speed up, when to slow down, and how to keep you engaged every second of the way. The winner of this round will be the ride with the better pacing. Mr. Toad is designed to be madcap.
It's pretty wild and zangy the entire way through. But again, I think it's so confusing.
Screw it, I hate this podcast.
We talk about Alice in Wonderland, it's like delightful the entire way through.
It's really, really cute. Yeah.
And I think that, like, again, I keep talking about this stupid outside section, but it's like you're in this stuffy building, and then it's like, oh, we're outside all of a sudden, and then there's a little part after it, which I think is cool too. Like, it's not just like, oh, you're done with. It's like, oh, we get another little inside section. It's like a cool, fun little intermission of like, oh, like, remember where you're at, remember this cool little area of the park, and now let's get back into it.
It'd be weird if like you went on like the outside portion and just like pulled into the loading station.
Yeah.
Be like, what was that about?
Yeah.
But yeah, you get like a little finale. I wonder why they designed the ride like that, because it doesn't like naturally need it. They just kind of added it.
Yeah, and Alice in Wonderland's kind of a longer dark ride too, I feel. So it's not like they really needed the maybe they just needed, like, because of the way the show building was built, they needed you to essentially wrap around at one point. They're like, we might as well just make it a big thing that goes on the outside. But
Yeah. And here's the thing with Mr. Toad. It's hilarious that you go to hell and the ride ends. Does that constitute good pacing? If anything, it's the opposite. You're like, what the
opposite of good pacing. Again, if there was maybe more like, they should refresh this, man. If there was more of like if it was like a Breaking Bad-esque scenario where it was clear that you were like, maybe at the beginning you were on Mr. Toad's, you're on his wild side, but then you go on his wild ride and you find out that he's just a wild guy. And you're realizing that he's making bad decisions. I guess you are, because you are Mr. Toad. And by the end, you're like, this is where I deserve to be. But this doesn't really happen.
Ichabod is there. He's going, he can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it.
That baby blue song at the end. I guess I got what I deserved.
Oh man, I want that so bad at the end of Mr. Toad. I guess I got.
That'd be so amazing. Just license that out, man. That song's probably not being used too much.
Imagineering, if you are not writing down every one of these ideas, what are you
the
doing?
Breaking Bad re-theme. AMC, Disney, buy AMC. They're probably cheap. They're probably owned by somebody already, huh?
I don't know. I really hope if you're listening to this podcast, you've also watched Breaking Bad, because for some reason it's come up, I think, a few times. That or Better Call Saul.
We didn't spoil anything. I made sure not to spoil anything. But I was also going to say it's odd. Mr. Toad, it is a wild ride, and I guess, Big Thunder Mountain is the wildest ride in the wilderness, but that's two rides that are claiming to be wild.
So, I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can.
All I'll say is I hope you go on Mr. Toad's first before. I hope you don't go on at Thunder Mountain and you're like, wait, I heard there's another wild ride around here. It's probably similar in scope and quality. I should go on Mr. Toad's now.
I feel like the book report rides are kind of cheating in a way, but like, is there an example of a book report ride that does this poorly, where like it kind of ends, or you spend a lot of the ride kind of bored? The original Snow White's like Scary Adventure might have fallen into that. Like, again, I loved that ride.
Yeah,
but from like a pacing perspective, you're kind of like, okay, I see the dwarves dancing. I spend 80% of the ride in the creepy forest.
Yeah.
And then the ride just ends, like after they kill the witch.
Shows up like 3 times in a row. Like, she turns around from the mirror, which is the best part of that ride. It's awesome. It is the coolest part. And then she offers you an apple, and then I think she has like a boat. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, this is crazy.
So yeah, I think so I guess you could do a book report poorly, and so the fact that Alice in Wonderland executes on it well, I think, means a lot. There's a pretty clear progression. I think there's a variety of show scenes, which is cool. We talked about that a bit in like Peter Pan. Like Peter Pan, you get like the flying over miniature scene, but then you also get some scenes of like full-sized figures. So, and I think Alice in Wonderland switches from kind of like these bigger, like when she's going through the forest. And then like there's also that cool scene at the beginning when like, I think it's showing the door that she walks through, and there's like the projection mapping.
Yeah, that's cool too. It opens right up for you.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of variety in this for a dark ride, which I really like. And I think that contributes to good pacing. It kind of keeps you interested. Whereas Mr. Toad, you're right. You spend a lot of it going like, what's going on here? Like, I guess we're... And then you go to hell, and it's awesome, but maybe not awesome enough. So let's go ahead and vote here.
I voted.
All right. I have a feeling I know where this is going. It is Alice in Wonderland. And, okay, I mean, geez Louise, that gives us a score at the end of round 8 of Mr. Toad's 3, Alice in Wonderland 5. This pains me. I was worried going into this, because I'm like, you know what? I love this ride too much to kind of like be totally neutral.
You're worried to be biased on it. Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just gonna lead with like, I love this ride, but then I was expecting Mr. Toad to kind of clobber Alice in Wonderland, and then people would be like, oh well, you guys just vote for what you like the most. But geez Louise, this is Alice in Wonderland 3, Mr. Toad 3, Alice in Wonderland 5. Mr. Toad needs a clean sweep to beat Alice in Wonderland. Oh man. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Round 9. From the earliest days of Disneyland, Walt's goal was simple: to build a place where the whole family could have fun together. Some rides still excel at creating those collective moments. The winner of this round will be the ride that creates the best family or group experience. Oh gosh.
So it's got a number of things going against it.
It's got something going for it.
It does. We'll say we've probably mentioned them, several dozen times before, but
little in this ride.
It's okay. So I think what it has going against it is that the ride vehicles are only 2, which I do think can be fun if there's 2 of you.
You can fit 3 if you have 2 kids.
Okay.
When I go with my 2 sons, I can get 2 of us in it.
But do your sons argue as to who gets to steer the steering wheel?
Yes, and that's why we go Mr. Toad's 2 times.
Yeah, so that is one thing. You might start with contention, which granted might be good for Mr. Toad because it shows you where your contention might lead you to if you let that rule your life. But Alice in Wonderland is a forfer,
Yeah.
A 4-person experience. Both of these are just dark ride. Like it's like
yeah, right. It's like hard.
There's definitely more to look out for in Alice in Wonderland. Again, if I had a kid on Alice in Wonderland, I'd be able to like point, be like, oh, look at that, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Mr. Toad's, I would be shivering and scared the entire time, and they'd say, Daddy, what's going on? I'd say, I have no idea. I'm sorry.
I am modifying the next round to be which ride teaches the better lessons about safe driving, and it's going to be worth 9 points.
The toadiest ride in the park. It's our new criteria.
So you know what the difference between these 2 rides is? One of them is a girl ride and one of them is a boy ride.
That is true.
I have 4 boys.
I was envisioning myself as having girl children. Me and my wife always do.
I thought I'd have a daughter first, but we had 4 boys and a daughter here at the end. But I have a friend who his first is a daughter, and so we will compare parenting. And he was playing Mario 64 with her. And there's that ice level in Mario 64 where you can grab the baby penguin and you're supposed to bring it back to its mom. You can also just chuck it off the edge, right? And he was telling his daughter, he's like, Jane, like, should we throw the baby penguin off the edge? And she was like, Dad, no, Dad, please, no, bring it back to his mom. And he was texting me about this. I'm like, I cannot tell you how much my boys would be howling with delight at the possibility of chucking the penguin off.
That's true.
The thing. And so there is just a difference in that, like, boys, like, this is a boy ride in that, like, you get to drive it, which, like, kids think is fun. You get to go over the bumps, which like I've always like that's and like we keep talking about these stupid bumps, but the bumps matter, okay? The bumps matter because
they give you a good dad quip moment. Hey, David, how about you drive a little bit better? Keep it in 2nd gear, David.
But like I think there is something to be like that happens. You're kind of like whoa, and then like getting hit by the train. My kids are surprised by that. They don't understand that we're in hell. But
yeah, we still haven't gotten there yet.
Alice in Wonderland,
not gotten to them.
I don't know. I think it's just a little like, like, I don't know. I think it's a little like one-dimensional. It's just kind of like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Like you get off the ride, it's like the ride's over. We gave this to It's a Small World because we said as a family, you bond over the shared hatred of the song.
That is true.
And I think there's something to Mr. Toad.
There is, but I think It's a Small World's different because it's so long and you can get everybody in that freaking boat.
But this is not which ride vehicle is the largest test.
I know it's not ride capacity, but again,
that's fair.
I have such a soft, I don't know, I did not realize I liked Alice in Wonderland this much. I didn't really have such a soft spot for it, but like everything about it is just super fun to me. Like the very beginning, again, with the door, the talking doorknob that opens up to you. It's kind of cool.
Okay, but so let's say it's not kids. Let's say it's grown-ups. Like you're just on with like your spouse, right? Or like your friends. Like you're going with the marching band like you did in high school. You cannot tell me that you are not going to talk more about Mr. Toad and talk about that 6 months later. You're like, you guys remember that crazy ride at Disneyland? You go to hell? You are not going to do that with Alice in Wonderland.
That is true. And then it's just do you value the groups of adults or the families?
But I think it's not just family. I think it's boys. My kids do
Yeah,
not like Alice in Wonderland.
that's a good point.
They don't like Mr. Toad either, but they will tolerate it, and they do think it's fun to
Because you've
drive the vehicle.
indoctrinated them.
Yeah, they are always confused why we do Fantasyland. It's so stupid because like Fantasyland is supposed to be for kids, and no, it is me dragging my kids from dark ride to dark ride in Fantasyland. They'll appreciate it when they're older. But I just think like I think Alice in Wonderland is better if you had like small girls. But like I think if you're appreciating a ride, ironically, like a funny as groups of adults, it's Mr. Toad. If it's young boys, it's Mr. Toad. If it's theme park sickos, it's Mr. Toad. So I'm giving away how I'm going to vote here, but that's my pitch.
I respect your pitch.
Oh my gosh! All right, we're gonna lock in. We're gonna vote.
I'm gonna lock in.
Okay, come on, Davis, do the right thing here. No, you're still going Alice in Wonderland. Explain yourself.
Again, okay, I know it's not the ride capacity thing, but I think it's just because for some reason I view myself as eventually having daughters, but I think there's just way more to look at, way more
You
to
have
see.
7 sons.
I know.
Oh, there's gonna be egg on your face.
Yeah, and you know what their names will be? Alex, 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 Alex. They'll all be named after Alice in Wonderland. No, I just think if I'm on this, again, it's like the one big moment at the end that you will talk about Mr. Toad versus like let's look at all these little things. Let's look, now we're above Fantasyland. We can look at and see that and that. Like it's a very Alice in Wonderland's a very I Spy kind of ride, you know, which again I think is fun for the family experience.
But what does it say that we still laugh about Mr. Toads, right? That like having grown up and gone to the parks together all the time, like Alice in Wonderland, it's like you're saying, like, oh, I didn't realize I like Alice in Wonderland so much. Like, what is it about Mr. Toad that bonded us as brothers? That Alice in Wonderland, it's like going to war when you ride Mr. Toad.
It's like going to war. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be swayed on this one.
Well, I won't be swayed either. So we've had fewer half points ever since we introduced this mechanism, but I gotta stand firm here. I gotta do the right thing and give it to Mr. Toad. So we're gonna be split here, half point for each ride. So that is Mr. Toad's 3.5, Alice 5.5. So Mr. Toad's is out of the running for a clear, better ride.
It can tie it up.
Let's see. All right.
I know what the last criteria is. I cannot remember what the next one is. So
yeah. Well, maybe you should continue to not remember it. We got round 10. Parks thrive on loyal fans. The repeat visitors know the value of a ride that stays exciting no matter how many times you board. The best attractions keep revealing new touches or delivering thrills that never wear thin. The winner of this round will be the ride that offers the most re-ride ability. Look, I'll say that neither of these I think is particularly strong.
No, I don't think so either. And I think this is like the one instance where the ending of Mr. Toad maybe works against its favor.
Right.
You ironically enjoy it the second time you go because you know what's coming. The first time you ride it, it's insane.
Yes.
But after that, it's like when you know it's coming, it's fun to laugh at, but you know.
Yeah, neither of these rides are ones I make sure to get on again.
Yeah, for sure.
I mentioned it before, but when we go to Disneyland, we try to do 3 days. 2 days to knock out everything, third day to just do what we want to do again. Even though I love Mr. Toad, like it's like I always make sure I get on it. I try to make sure I get on it fairly early in the trip. I don't really ever try to get on it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, and it's very telling because they're in the same show building. I think if I was in that area and both of these rides were zero wait, I would do Alice in Wonderland.
That's a good way to think about it, and I hate.
Mostly because I feel like it draws more people in. Kind of always has a little bit longer line. It's not super popular though, but
no.
Can I enjoy it?
You're right. You die and you go to hell. It's awesome, but it's a little like that's it. It shocks you, and it cracks you up, which is why you should have given it the point in the last round. But as far as like, yeah, as far as like, oh, I'm getting a lot more when I go out of this. Alice in Wonderland, its show scenes are just larger. Like,
Yeah.
I think I have like every square inch of Mr. Toad's roughly committed to memory, and that's not a compliment,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just a pretty small ride. Like Alice in
Yeah, very
Wonderland,
much.
you can kind of go and see new things. There's a little hidden Mickey. It's like a paint splatter on the rose, on the bush that they're painting with for the roses. Yeah, I mean, again, I wouldn't be clamoring to get on either one of these again.
I'll
But
say
Alice in
I
Wonderland is
haven't
just
been on the
grander.
new, yeah, I haven't been on the new Snow White yet,
That's cute.
but I'll say that probably bar that one because it's newer. Alice in Wonderland feels like the most impressive to me of those dark rides. If you're taking the original Snow White, like the Snow White's Scary Adventures, like it
Right.
does a lot with its effects, which I think is
Right.
cool. It has a more prominent place in the park, even though it's kind of put in the back
Yeah.
of its own little area.
All right. I'm like Kylo Ren. I know what I must do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
I've
Listeners,
submitted.
I take my role as judge, jury, and in this case, executioner very seriously because that is a unanimous vote for Alice in Wonderland, which means at the end of round 8, Mr. Toad has fallen with a score of 3.5 to 6.5. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
This is actually how I figured it would go.
Dang
I
it.
actually thought that Alice in Wonderland would win, and I was shocked that the viewers thought that Mr. Toad would win.
Because Mr.
I
Toad's
do
awesome.
love Mr. Toad, yeah, but it's a less impressive overall. Like,
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked that Mr. Toad was doing so well at the beginning because I was like, I forgot how good the facade is. I forgot, the line. Obviously, there's like a lot of that stuff, but
Well,
yeah.
there might be, our viewers might be vindicated here with this last round. Before we write Mr. Toad's complete eulogy, we got to see how well it does. Because we have our final round, which is, well, our other rounds evaluate clear criteria. Certain rides earn a place in the broader theme park canon. Touchstones known and loved across generations and across parks. The winner of this round will be the ride that is the most iconic. And I think Mr. Toad is doing some heavy lifting here. Mr. Toad sells merch, which shocks me. Mr. Toad, when they removed it from Disney World, there were like protests.
Tests. They ticketed, man.
They included the Easter egg of Mr. Toad handing the deed to Owl in the new Winnie the Pooh ride. And that doesn't happen incredibly often, and certainly not in such a prominent way. Like,
yeah,
the Little Mermaid ride in Fantasyland replaced the submarines, and like on the outside rock work, you can there's some rock indentations that make the submarine, which is cute, right?
Yeah.
But they don't have a picture. They don't have like a full scale submarine in the ride, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Or take the other Winnie the Pooh ride, the Country Bear Jamboree. They stick the 3 beheaded animals in the ride, but like you have to turn around to know where to look. Like that is and in some rides they retheme entirely, like Splash Mountain, and they don't pay any homage to the ride that came before it. Or even like Tower of Terror, like Guardians of the Tower of Terror. They have some hints to what came before it, but like nothing as prominent as Toad handing over the deed to Owl, because people love this ride.
Yeah, it's iconic. It's been, again, I've not seen the movie this is based on, but I know Mr. Toad. I stand with Mr. Toad. He is me, I am him. I piloted his carcass as I went on that ride. I stood in his place.
And just as I emerged from Flight of Passage, I emerged from Flight of Passage with more of a kinship with the Na'vi, so too do I emerge from Mr. Toad's, understanding his plight and perhaps driving a little safer. It's why do people love this ride so much? Why do I love this ride so much?
I really don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, I get why we like it. I get why our family likes this ride. Because we're weird. We're not like other
Right.
families. No, I was kidding. No, we're like we like a lot of stuff ironically. We have, like I said, there's a weird. Our family loves shared commiseration in terms of like
Yes.
board
Yes.
games and stuff. Like we think that's fun and a good bonding experience. And Mr. Toad plays into that, but it is shocking that people are so like into that. Because was Mr. Toad's
Yeah.
originally, did they originally get rid of it just for the meet and greet space and they turned the meet and greet space into Winnie the Pooh? Is
No,
that
they
what
got rid
happened?
of her for Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just a clean replacement by Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, what do I love the most about this ride? I don't know. There's something so like
It feels so classic to me. Like it does feel like this is like it feels like the original Disneyland intact in its like purest form to me, almost in a ride form. That and
yeah.
like Pinocchio feels that way too, but
And I'm not a purist. Like and for what it's worth, Walt
mhm,
Disney wasn't either. I mean, he said Disneyland
yeah.
would constantly be evolving. And I think it's great that the parks evolve and change.
Mhm.
You know what I think it is to me? I think it's that you cannot like Mr. Toad without liking rides. Like I think
Yeah,
you
for
can be
sure.
someone who like maybe you're just like a thrill junkie, and so you go on Rock and Roller Coaster and you're like, oh, that was
Mhm.
fun, right? But like the only way you are going to like Mr. Toad is if you just appreciate the art of the theme park.
Yeah.
Um, like you can
If you
just
like dark
let's
rides so much that even after you've ridden all the ones on the movies you recognize, you
yeah,
still want to go on this one.
or like honestly, like you could be someone who hates rides, hates theme parks, but you could be the biggest Alice in Wonderland fan, and you could go on that
Mhm.
ride and be like, oh, like I liked that because I liked Alice in Wonderland. There's nothing redeeming about Mr. Toad. It's just
No,
you die, you go to hell, and it's a bunch of cardboard
he's not
cutouts.
redeemed in the end. There's no
Nope,
Mr. Toad that
literally.
reaches down and pulls you out. Nope.
And so I think you can only like this ride if you like rides, and I think that that's something that kind of sets us theme park fans apart is just loving
Mhm.
the art of the theme park itself. And look, Alice in Wonderland, you won. You won fair and square. I think it technically executes better on a lot of the individual criteria,
Yeah.
but there's something about Mr. Toad that just endears itself to the heart of the true theme park lover, and I think that's a really strong point in its
Mhm.
favor.
Alice in Wonderland, it's weird because it almost always feels like stumbling onto it feels like a little bit of a surprise. Like
Yeah.
it's never in the front of my mind, but I'm always happy to see it. I'm like, oh, I forgot this was back here. But I did forget it was back there. Also, if you got rid of Alice in Wonderland, you'd still have the teacups.
You have the
And
teacups, and
I
here's
think
the
there'd be
biggest
more of an
thing.
uproar if they got rid of the teacups than if they got rid of the Alice in Wonderland dark ride.
No, you know what? There'd be more of an uproar if they got rid of Alice in Wonderland. That they got rid of Mr. Toad,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because
If they redid the show building, yeah,
right,
Mr.
because
Toad would
you
definitely
probably can't redo Alice in Wonderland without affecting Mr. Toad in some
be. Yeah.
capacity, and I
We
guarantee
should
you.
expand Mr. Toad to the entire show building.
There we go. That's what we learned from here. Yeah, I think if you touched Alice in Wonderland and got rid of Mr. Toad, like more people would be upset that you got rid of Mr. Toad than Alice in Wonderland. I mean, Alice in
For
Wonderland
sure.
is it's a lovely ride, and I think we've seen here one of the better dark rides, but
Hmm.
people love Mr. Toad, and I don't blame them. I am one of them. So with that, I'm gonna submit my vote.
I'm one with Mr. Toad.
All right.
Submitted.
That is Mr. Toad, unanimous. Okay. That gives us a final score of Mr. Toad's 4.5 to Alice 6.5. I truly did not see this coming. I thought Bruiser Brad was right and that it was going to stomp.
I'm doing my Alice in Wonderland sign of me smoking a hookah.
Yeah, I thought that Mr. Toad would win this handily, but that's what I like about doing these and about this whole podcast is like as you break them down and you compare them across one by one at a time. Like I can't say there's a score here that I really disagree with. Well, except
Yeah.
for Best Family
Except
Experience.
for
There
the
should be
best
5
family
to 6.
experience, if it had, yeah, it would have been 5 to 6. So it still would have been Alice in
So
Wonderland.
what would have lost? Thank goodness.
If we ever have a 5.5 episode, that'll tear this podcast apart. And every
the day it
family
ends.
reunion and every Morgan family reunion since, yeah.
What?
n-
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I mean, That's
I
crazy.
thought Alice in Wonderland would pull out the win. I just think it's a more impressive ride overall, but it was impossible not to give iconic to Mr. Toad's. And again, that facade, I was pretty much going in, I was like, facade and Q, Mr. Toad's gonna, no, Q, I was like, Mr. Toad's gonna win.
Right.
I was like, Alice in Wonderland has a lot going for its facade, but then I was like, does it really? Mr. Toad has a cool looking building.
Well, you saw how cocky I was going into this. I'm like, oh man, Alice in Wonderland, it stinks that you lost facade because that's the only point you were gonna get. And then it just kept deteriorating. This is quite shocking to me. But as stewards of this podcast, we must do what is right. And Alice in Wonderland, you're the better ride. Congratulations. We will have to have Mr.
6-5.
Well, yeah, we gotta, let's check with any of our listeners. Unfortunately, the half point, very few people guessed the half point. Everyone said Mr. Toad would win.
Toad, yeah.
Our Bravo was the closest with Mr. Toad 6, Alice in Wonderland 5. So no one got it right. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Well, there we go. I mean, Mr. Toad will have to come back. It might just be a recurring theme on this podcast. I would not be surprised for Mr. Toad to just keep coming back and getting its butt kicked every time. So
Mr. Toad versus Rise of the Resistance next.
Okay, well, speaking of butt kickings, we're doing something next week for the matchup, which I don't know. I thought this would go one way. This next matchup might go a completely different way. This is going to be Indiana Jones versus Dinosaur. So this is like, yeah, right.
At this point, technically, this is another new version of a ride versus old version, because are they? Do you know if the Indiana Jones is a direct clone or if they're doing a new story for the new one?
They're doing a new story for the. So Dinosaur. Cool. So for those who are not familiar, Dinosaur is basically a copy of Indiana Jones, the ride vehicle, the track. They are. It has widely been considered to be the inferior version of it. They're replacing it in Animal Kingdom, Dinosaur, with Indiana Jones. But I do know I've heard they're doing a new story. And I've actually heard it revolves around Indiana Jones hunting a magical creature. Which is cool.
It probably should if it's in Animal Kingdom.
Right. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. I'm really interested to see how this one goes, because I think there are some things Dinosaur has going for it. But Indiana Jones, I mean, like... Again, I don't know. I guess we all thought Mr. Toad was going to win, and it didn't. So
Indiana Jones to me is like the absolute gold standard of Disney attraction. So that's tough for me.
Well, I mean, let us know in the comments, everyone. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think about Indiana Jones versus Dinosaur. And as always, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to share the podcast. We have been doing this as a collaboration with Davis's main channel for a bit, but we've switched off that just to target it more accurately towards theme park fans, and so we're expecting maybe a bit of a dip in videos, but we think the people it's reaching more now are the kinds of people who are going to stick with it.
A dip in views, we mean to say, not a dip in videos. These will be weekly.
Excuse me. No, it's still going to remain weekly, but just a bit of a dip in views as we kind of build an independent subscriber base here. So if you really like this podcast and you've got theme park loving fans, let them know, because Davis and I are having fun making it, but we'd obviously love for it to grow and become something big one day. So you can always comment on the YouTube or the Spotify video to get in touch with us. If you want to email us, you can do contact@pleaseremainheated.com. And again, you can check out Davis's main channel, Davis Morgan, and all aspiring software engineers can check out Book Overflow. If you'll notice, I drink from the Book Overflow mug every podcast.
I drink from the Kirkland signature water bottle.
I thought you were a Fred Meyer guy.
We were, but she went to Costco because she was trying to look for some energy drinks, but didn't have them there. But also, you seen this?
Game Boy?
Game Boy. Lego Game Boy.
Oh, Lego Game Boy. That's cool.
It's pretty cool, actually. We'll have to talk about that later. No,
let's show off all the things on our desk. All right. That's it for this week. See you guys next week, folks. Indiana Jones versus Dinosaur. Listeners, please let us know what you think. I'm so curious what people think this is going to be. There's the potential for an 11-0 SmackDown, which would be unprecedented in the history of the podcast. We'll see you next week, folks.
Stay heated, Hefes.
Oh, gosh. All right. Bye.